A tutorial by LearnFast Studios.
Welcome back. In this session, let us learn about how to use static import in Java. Before we learn about static import in Java, let us see one that sort of an example where in a class we may have the static variables as well as in static methods. Let us see how the class definition was there for the math class in Java. If you want to verify this static methods as well as in variables in the math, we'll be using a command java-p java.lang.math. So you can observe that this math class consists of several static variables as well as in several static methods. Here you can observe sign is one method which is of the type static. If you want to access any static variable, what we have a convention of calling that method using the class name. Now let's get started and then check how normally we'll be using that. Let's get started. Let us take one variable. Let us try to find out what is the square root of 10,000. If you want to calculate the square root, what am I supposed to do? I need to import the math class. To import the math class, I'll be using the convention import space java.lang is a package where you have this math class, and then simply I am importing semicolon math. And then now what I'm going to do, I would like to just print system.out.println. In order to access the square root method, you since it is a static method, I need not to create an object for the math class if I want to access any static method. Now sqrt, since sqrt is an static method, now what I'm trying to do, I'm using math.sqrt of the value that I'm going to pass is 10,000, which is going to return the value 100. Now let us compile this code. See, and then let us execute the code. We can observe that we got the value 100. But now let us see how we can minimize the code further. Since if you observe the math class java-p java.lang.math, there are so many methods which are of the type static. If you want to use all these methods, every time you need to use this class name dot this variable name or class name dot this method name. Instead of repeatedly using the class name, what we can do, we can import all the static variables as well as the static methods to this class directly. In order to do that, what I am supposed to do is, here we'll be mentioning a keyword called as in static space, and then what I can do, mention dot star. By means of this by means of this statement, I'm going to import all the static variables and the static methods of this math class. Now I need not to use the class name for the static variables as well as the static method. Now let us check how we can execute the same code with this static input. Let's compile the code. Let us execute. Now we got the similar kind of the output. Now let us add one more line of the code. Actually, this pi variable we haven't defined over here. From where we are obtaining this pi variable? This pi variable is a final constant and the static type which is of the math class. Now let us try to compile the code and then run the code. Now you can observe that without without mentioning the class name, directly we are able to access the static variables as well as the static methods of any class. So in this session, we have learned about how to import any static variables as well as in methods of the class using static import, and then how we can access those methods and static variables in the program. That's all for this session. Thank you and have a great day.